Eamon Khan here for Seconds Out with Eddie Hearn. Steady on the step. Eddie will want you to fall. Big old boy indeed. Losing the weight though. Conor Benn though, there were some moments where we looked like maybe is he steady, is he not? But he came through the test. A good fight.
Yeah, I think only probably once. Got hit with 2 big right hands, took them well. They're always going to be critics, and probably more so with Conor Benn. It was good to bank the 12 rounds. I did say Dobson can fight. Like, he's really a 154-pounder. He's a big lump. He was very smart. I thought his defence was good. The shoulder was good. Didn't let Conor really land a lot of right hands clean. But first time Conor's done 12 rounds. So, I think all in all, good box ticked.
You feel Ben had issues with the style?
I think he's probably never boxed anyone who was cute defensively. I mean, Dobson's well schooled. He's down there in the Bronx, training in Brooklyn, sparring all the top guys for years and years. Let's not also forget, he's 16-0 undefeated. He's not, And I said this going in, everyone just expected Conor to demolish him. But also, and we'll talk about the Eubank fight soon, but Conor is, as you saw, really a 147-pounder. He's fighting these big guys. Orozco last time was a middleweight, really. So people say, he's lost his power. He ain't lost his power. He's just fighting big guys. When he iced Algieri, he's a really 140-pounder moving up. So I would like to see Conor Benn back at welterweight and actually fighting some legitimate welterweights rather than fighting these light middles and middles.
Why was the fight at 150?
Because Dobson is really actually made at 151. Dobson's a 154-pounder. When you're not fighting at there's no belt on line, or you're not fighting championships. You don't really have to make championship weight. Conor made 150 point whatever really easily, but also hydrated to 160 odd. So. He is a welterweight. There's no doubt about that.
In terms of his next steps, obviously there's a date with Destiny in terms of the appeal there, going through that. You've made no bones about it. You want that Chris Eubank Jr. fight.
I'm not. After tonight, I'm not going to talk about it anymore because I just don't get it. Like the most, sitting with Mr. Dana White tonight, so envious of the fact that he can just make fights like that. That's going to develop the sport and develop his business and provide entertainment. Yet we've got a situation where a guy is turning down millions and millions and millions, and I can keep going on those millions, to take half the money or more than half to fight what he will probably describe as a tougher fight or a bigger guy. Conor Benn is 2 divisions below Chris Eubank Jr. And he will not fight him for the biggest payday he could ever get in the sport. I just don't get it. Like, this sport frustrates the life out of me. So after tonight, I ain't mentioning it anymore. If he won't take the fight, if I'm him now, I'm speaking to Callis Howland and I'm watching that and I'm going, fucking make that fight and get me my money. And if he don't, I give up. I just don't know. I don't, I started to think that Chris Eubank Jr. was afraid of Conor Benn or afraid to lose. But I just, if I'm a big middleweight and he's a big middleweight, I'm watching that thinking, he can't beat me. So let's see it. Take the money. He doesn't, he's already said, don't care about legacy or world championships. All Eubank Jr. wants is money. But it doesn't make sense. So that's the frustration of the game. And I promise you, after tonight, I ain't talking about it anymore. So he can go away. We'll fight Kell Brook, we'll fight Liam Smith, or we bring a big name to the UK. There is a lot always on the shoulders of Conor Benn. Every time he fights. And in a couple of weeks, hopefully that'll be removed forever. And we can get cracking and filling arenas in the UK.
Let's see if this works. You said B+ on paper with the rest of the card included. How about on delivery? Do you feel it bettered?
Yeah, same. I mean, I thought it was entertaining. I think that people like different things, don't they, right? So I'm a little bit more of a hardcore. So I like fights that go long, but really people like knockouts. And I was speaking to people in here tonight, especially a lot of the commission rings, like, what a great night, some unbelievable knockouts. And it's like, yeah, I said, could have done with a few more rounds. What? Look at me like, why? We don't want rounds, we want knockouts. So, when you look at it, I thought Jimmy Sains was fantastic tonight, great knockout, good learning fight for George Liddard. Khalil Coe, this guy is a beast at 175 pounds. And a lot of our young fighters are now coming through, Diego Pacheco, Amo Williams, Khalil Coe. We've got some great US prospects. Johnny Fisher was great. And as I said with Johnny, this is a guy, I'd like him to fight the winner of Fabio Wardley against Fraser Clark. Probably 1 or 2 more fights. That he's going to need to fight for the British title in 2 or 3 fights tops. So he'll go April 13th on the Zelfa Barrett against Jordan Gill card. And then he'll headline in London, and he'll do that in a British title eliminator or something like that. And he's a good fighter. He's a very good heavyweight prospect.
Widening the scope now, May 18th is a new date for Fury versus Usyk. I'm not a doctor, but that seems quite a close date for that cut to heel.
If you think about it, we're at the start of February. Got all of February, all of March, all of April. If he stays fit, which he will, he'll only need 4 weeks of sparring. 5 weeks tops. So therefore, his sparring doesn't really need to start till the beginning of April or mid-April. You know, you've still got really 8 weeks at least till he needs to spar. That cut will be well healed in 4 or 5 weeks. There's always going to be scar tissue there. I mean, that's the same spot as the Wilding cut. So, you know, maybe he uses a bar this time on his head guard, or I don't know. But I think the timing will be fine.
Does it change your pick at all for the Undisputed fight?
Not really. Not really. I mean, Fury's going to get a whole load of criticism about this. And listen, I'll back him on it. I don't often back him. But to say that he made the cut up, or it's just moronic. So I think he's going to get a huge amount of criticism. And I think it's going to drive him on to beat Usyk. I actually think this will work out well for Tyson Fury. And I think he'll beat Oleksandr Usyk.
It's a very innovative clause. I don't know what you'd say, how you'd call it, but if either fighter pulls out against 10 million and the one picks the opponent, the other one has to fight Joshua, which I guess maybe you'd want there. Is there room for that sort of thing?
The whole thing's madness, but that's the world that we're living in. We're all living in His Excellency's world, and we're enjoying it. You saw also tonight, we got the deal done for Bivol against Beterbiev, massive for boxing. And of course, Queensberry against Matchroom will go the same night, June 1st. You know, and it's disappointing February 17th off, but you got March the 8th, Fury and Ngannou. You got May the 18th, Usyk against Fury. And now you got June the 1st, Bivol, Beterbiev and Matchroom v Queensberry. It's pretty mega. So, you know, just, it'll come. It'll come.
Path for AJ has changed slightly, but Ngannou if it comes through him and then Hrgovic.
Potentially, yeah, who knows? We'll see.
Are you happy with that? I mean, I suppose with Turkey al-Sheikh coming in, he kind of dictates what's happened. So I guess you lose that bit of direction, right?
Not really. I mean, we originally, when we signed the deal to fight Ngannou, the plan was always to fight Hrgovic. But then, you know, he said at the press conference, I want the winner of Joshua and Ngannou to fight the winner of Fury Usyk. With the delay, that's unlikely. So if we fight Hrgovic for the world title and AJ becomes a 3-time world champion and then fights for Undisputed, either way, it's a nice little path.
Finally, Buatsi comes through the victory. I believe there's 2 knockdowns in the fight, but he wins on points.
Yeah, I think it's different in levels between two of them. Josh is a world-class fighter, and Aziz, with all due respect, he's done brilliantly. He's a British and European level fighter. He's a very good fighter, but Josh, you know, as I thought, would have too much for him, and you know, hopefully like to see Joshua Buatsi against Khalil Cohn now. I think that'd be a great fight.
Eddie, pleasure's all mine. Thanks for speaking to SecondsOut.